You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Probably as ready as I'll ever be.
Yo. Writing lyrics on a daily, trying to reach the sun but it's rainy. As I fight on the track like the Navy, got them glasses on looking shady. I shot on the rhythm, I can kill him. As I murder the beat like a villain. Yeah, everyone know that I'm winning. Try dive to my level, you ain't swimming. I got the French in me like Montana. Getting kinda hot in here like Savannah. Trying to put tool to me like a spanner. See me getting K-car cause I got the manner.
Bad time for needing a wee, isn't it? Like, I just have to hold it. No, it's alright, I'll be alright.
They'll be able to hear you.
It might. No, it's cool. I'll be able to. It might jiggle a bit. Might end up a bit more exciting.
Film noir is often cited as being the very first dark film genre, as it created a charm of its own by shying away from the bright glitzy glam of Hollywood that dominated the American film industry. The German expressionist cinema gave film noir its dark themes of visual styles and moods that reflected the depression following the war. It was an era of filmmaking that spanned across the 40s and 50s, creating notorious atmospheres of crime syndicates in the dingier areas of America's famous cities.
Well, for the film noir VT, there's a lot of focus on, obviously, black and white and shadowing and stuff like that. So I was chosen as the lighting technician for that. And that's one of the genres where lighting is really important.
The most common theme for film noir stories is that some crimes have occurred and our hero, a private investigator or detective of some form, has to fight against the odds to solve his case.
We made everyone wear contrasting colours like black or really pale, like colours like pink or white. And then, yeah, just turn the lights on.
So now our hero has not only got to deal with his liver cirrhosis causing alcoholism, coming up with wisecracks that relate crime to some sort of diner-based food analogy, and being as loud about his sexist views as possible, but he also has to deal with the more than slight risk of being stabbed in the back by the very person he's trying to save.
So you did that? This is what you did?
Yeah, basically. Well, you slid the thingy.
How do you move it?
I need you to select it first.
So select each one?
No, all of them together.
I don't know how to select all of them together. Stop telling me things that I don't know how to do.
Andrea's just shown you.
Nerves.
Andrea's just shown you how to highlight something.
And I just did that and it's not highlighting.
Okay, take overwrite off then.
Oh, thank you for telling me that.
Right, now go.
That's not that way. Is it that way? I don't get it.
My nationality allows me to be free.
Democracy gives people a voice.
Religion or science is neither good or bad, it's the individuals who practice it.
It's important for young people to know their rights, even if it does seem to them like a long drag. You know, if it seems boring, chances are it's probably important and you should know it really, because you never know when you're going to find yourself in a situation where you need to know your rights.
Who am I? Is there a plausible answer? For one day I am the darkness, and the next I am the light. Thinking and perceiving, analysing and criticising. Who I was, I am not now. And who I am now is not who I am yet to be. Despite my definitively different attributes, they make me myself. I wish you realised you are the most powerful curator, and nothing is ever limited. The real question behind all this is, who are you not to be.
So that video was sort of like a compilation of my own thoughts. Like I'd been having a lot of thoughts about where my identity stood as a person, and I just wanted to put something together that kind of reflected how I was thinking at that moment in time. And sort of in your teenage years you go through a journey of sort of trying to understand who you are and where you stand in society. So I think that was kind of the foundations of that video.
The dance show always starts the same way. We went down to watch the rehearsals, so we got an idea of what we wanted to film, where to position the cameras, and we got everything sorted out, checked everything worked perfectly fine. And then we had 2 days of rehearsals, so we filmed for a bit, and then on the final day we just filmed and got a really nice take.
I was a vision mixer, so I had to like live edit the entire thing, the full 115 minutes.
I went back in post to edit any wrong movements, any camera movements that weren't too good, or anything that needed to be changed. And I also did the credits, which took me quite a while.
But it's quite challenging in the sense that like you got to know the beats of the songs and stuff. So you got to make sure you get it on the right beat. You got to make sure you change to the correct camera at the correct time. Because you could think a couple times I cut to a camera and there was like no one there, and you're kind of like, change that. So it's quite challenging. It's quite intense. Like an hour, 15 minutes, quite intense.
It was interesting because it was a new experience, because I've never directed a live show before, so that was the first. And it was a bit stressful, but it was interesting to see everyone come together and working as a big group together.
My name's John Duran. My company is johnduranttraining.com. We specialise in personal training and boxing, kickboxing training. In Cobra Gym, we provide classes in boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing. We do conditioning, we do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. We do kids classes, ladies classes. So we run the timetable 7 days a week.
When we first turned up at Cobra Gym, it was quite underwhelming because the gym was quite small. And we weren't really expecting anything that small, to be honest, because we kind of had I had loads of shot ideas in my head, like interviews shot in front of the boxing ring, loads of like the boxing bags, people in the ring and all that. Basically quite a ring-based video. But then when we got there was no ring, it was quite small, we had no time, no place to do interviews except from their little office. So we me and Calvin just went for it and just done what we could do, and we done like 3 interviews in the first shoot in one room. Interacting with the client was, I don't know, it was quite easy. He was really easygoing. He kind of just let us do what we wanted to do. Like, we didn't really have to ask him for permission for everything we wanted to do. So it was quite an easy task to do. We just set off, he let us do it, he done what he had to do for like his clients and that, and we done what we had to do for him.
Cobra Gym's got a long history. It's been in London for 30 years. Probably one of the most famous kickboxing gyms in London. We've got a great team here, great instructors. You know, we're all passionate about what we do. No gimmicks, just hard training, and that's it.
That kitchen went terribly because I had it I kind of forgot about it. I kind of forgot that we had the pitching thing, and I didn't realise up until about a couple of hours before it got to go that you couldn't take your notes in. That I couldn't take in my pitch and read it out. So half of the pitch I was in wrong order because I couldn't remember certain things, and then I'd remember it, and then I'd try and say it on top of what I'd just said, and I didn't. It was just all over the place. But yeah, half of the elements I said in my script I didn't use in the final thing. I think that the final script was a lot simpler but more complex in a way. Like not as much happened, but the way I wrote it was kind of more. I'm trying to avoid using the word cleverer to sound bigoted, but like I put things in different order, and it's risky when it's a short film because you haven't got a lot of time to kind of make it that complex. But I pulled it off in the end.
I found the process of making the short drama sort of both quite difficult and challenging, but also quite rewarding. It was quite difficult, like we had a lot of hurdles in the initial process with getting actors and sort of trying to tell this story about a cannibal, basically.
Well, the neck is the most fragile part of the human body. Anyway, I've got to work now.
Oh, you never told me what you do.
I work in an abattoir. Gobble, gobble. Oh, come on, Jenny. Let's go.
It's understanding, like, telling a story with actors. Like, usually you're kind of depending on voiceover, but you have to teach actors to build relationships on set, so it kind of tells a story in that respect. But you also have to be able to make it visually interesting, and I think it's quite hard because we were confined to one location rather than having several. So we had to really experiment with all different angles and shots in just one location. So I think that was kind of the challenge, and sort of changing the period of time. So 1 minute we were filming and it was like day, and then trying to make it look convincing at night, even though it was still the middle of the day when we were filming it. So you started playing with time as well.
Who did you run to? Find a shoulder to lay your head.
There's only one way to get rid of the body. Gobble, gobble.
I'm very uncertain about everything. I can't make a decision, and it's the same for this course. Initially I wanted to come here for a year, and then by then I was like, oh okay, then I'll be able to think of something I want to do. But nah. It's not, I'm still uncertain. I have no idea what I'm gonna do once this course is over. And I don't really want to think about it, to be honest. But I'll have to. Don't you let her touch the track. My college ID hasn't worked for a solid 2 years. Essentially, I had it for a month. It was working perfectly fine. Then it had a glitch. I tried replacing it a solid 3 times. Didn't work. I just gave up. So for the next year and a half, instead of complaining every week and a half, I essentially just asked for other people's IDs, and however, on the days where they're not in or I can't find anyone, I have 2 options. I either wait at the gate until someone just happens to go through, which is my solid option 90% of the time. However, there have been a solid 3 to 5 cases where I have to climb over it. And I've actually got a scar on my ribcage because of it. There was actually a meeting 3 weeks ago, wasn't there, about terrorists and not letting people into the college. I think that was specifically about me. It must be, because literally I'm the only one who does it. But I'm a terrorist, isn't me? Why don't you let her drive the train now? The short film is about a kind of paranormal switch, which a teenager comes across on just coming home from work. When he presses it, he discovers it has like a perverse effect on the world around him. And he continues pressing it until eventually breaks, and the world is just in a kind of limbo state. And the effect of the switch is it causes people to have a lack of morality and empathy.
Does my outfit look okay?
Look a bit fat, to be honest.
What?
Look a bit fat.
You can go on a date with yourself then.
What I'm thinking about when I'm cutting something together is it interesting to the person who would watch it, or if it's interesting to me if I watch it? Because I'll put it together, even if it's a rough cut, and then I'll watch it myself and think to myself, is it actually boring to watch? Because if it's boring to watch, that would cause me to be stressed, because then I'm like, for God's sake, what have I done here? This makes no sense. Why did I even bother putting that there? And then I'll cut it out, and then I realise to myself, oh, that's why it's there, because without it, it makes even less sense.
Too much time. You know you got what I want you. Come on, you're about to blow my mind. Can you dig it?
One of the best projects that we get to kind of engage in is the kind of free reign we have on the radio shows that we created, especially in the first year, because Andy, our tutor, would say, this is the basics. You know, you get to create your own radio clock as long as you have like certain elements, like the triple shot at the beginning, you have like free reign to do anything. So you can bring in interviews, you can play stupid games, you can play the music that you want. And that was so much fun, especially around like Christmas. We would do Christmas themed shows and things like that. And we just have a laugh, and it was just felt like you were in like a commercial station. You know, you weren't just here in the studio, like you're doing so much more.
Well, what I do is basically we make mainly radio shows and help understand the process of producing shows and putting out different content, such as like for a new show or our own personal radio shows where we can change and make our own thing. And then there's also podcasts which go uploaded onto SoundCloud. So there's a lot of variety on what we do here.
These are dangerous times because politics all around us, it seems to me, is failing, at least conventional politics. The politics that's succeeding is the politics of simple solutions for complex times, the politics of a demagogue.
We had how we use democracy in first world countries for our first project, and in that one we went on to TED Talk, which is essentially YouTube for things like politics and global matters and such, and we'd find audio files from there, we'd drag them off, and then we'd put them in so it'd sound like the celebrities on that show were answering our own questions. So in a way it'd sound like we had them in the studio and we were talking to them personally. And we would use that to tell the story through how we feel as though democracy may not be used to its full potential in this country.
The people that tell us that change is impossible are the people that benefit from it staying the same. Oh, how convenient for you that this system that exploits us and places you on a plinth of privilege is the only possible one. Aren't we lucky you happened upon it?
Radio documentary that we had to create, we was kind of given a little brief, meaning that there was a certain amount of subjects that they wanted us to try and talk to, and the demographic was always aged at our age, to say as such, so like young teenagers. And from that we kind of went off and we had a few weeks to explore archive footage, interviews, sound effects, music, everything like that.
Well, the radio documentary comes down to basically using audio files to talk about a specific subject or interest to us personally, and it also consists of our own knowledge as well as using archive footage we'd find online or from other people.
And within that time we had to create an informative piece of work which really would help somebody in need. So for example, myself and Caitlin decided to go off and do one about underage drinking. because we thought that was, you know, quite a big problem. So from that we used things like YouTube and the BBC and loads of things like that to find this old archive programme, and it explained, you know, just people's stories about they went out drinking and they were stupid and that they shouldn't have made these big mistakes, so we use things like that.
5.3 million young people have 5 or more drinks on the same occasion at least once within the past year. Young people drink less often than adults, but when they do drink, they drink more. We asked a group of people what they thought about underage drinking and how much of a problem they believe it to be.
We also spent, oh my God, so many days going down to Derwent Valley Hospital, down to Gravesend Hospital, everywhere, just to try and get an interview with somebody, like a professional, who would explain like why underage drinking is a problem.
My name's Alan, and when I was 14 I had a really bad experience due to alcohol. And one of my friends went off and he came back saying, I've got someone who can get served for us, shall we get something to drink? I probably finished off the vodka and had a few beers. I started to hear like a group of men. Eventually they came over, we started squaring up to each other, and then it looked like one of them was gonna like swing for me, so I swung for him. He just blocked it, picked me up by the throat and threw me against the bus stop.
So before I start like the main edit, I'd make sure that I have all my footage that I need. So I would write like a timeline and I'd make sure that, right, I've got the right music that I want, that's fine, I've got all my archive footage. We then went into Andrea's and we edited them on Adobe Audition. Yeah, just in the multi-track kind of way of things, and I think that took us maybe good 2 long sessions just to really get things down and, you know, make sure all the levels were correct.
Office of National Statistics report that comes out every 2 years, and they do a survey of young people under 16s in schools, and what it shows is that really the rate of under 16s who report having drunk, say within the past week, has more or less halved in the past 10 years.
I've really come to enjoy editing the process, just using Adobe Audition, cutting down audio files and putting them together and rearranging them in a way to make something completely different from the way it was recorded, and being able to give it new life in a way. And also being able to put in new sound effects and new songs and completely transform it.
The weather in Dartford is currently 19 degrees, lows of 12. It's still looking really, really dry and sunny, and there's no chances of rain. Georgia with the 11 o'clock news coming up next.
Harry Elvin is a character. Let's say this, him and Mike are legit best friends. I feel like Mike is going to always have to be in Harry's life, because legit every lesson we have, Mike is like, oh Harry, you are going to grow up one day with a flash car and you're going to get yourself a wife who's going to cook for you, like this business. And Harry loves it, and everybody in the class knows that Harry loves it, so at points in the lesson we just have to let Harry and Mike have this bonding session like father and son.
You right, Mike?
Fine.
All right. If John Lennon was to walk through this door right now, what would you say to him?
I'd say you're one of the greatest human beings that's ever walked this planet.
Is that it?
I'd say a lot more. I'd most probably pass out with the sheer joy of it.
Really?
Yeah.
If he could sing any song to you, what would it be? What song would it be?
Oh, one that he's already recorded, my favourite, has always been Strawberry Fields.
Do you like, I think it's called Imagine.
Imagine's lovely, and it's a beautiful song, but Strawberry Fields is the one that did it for me.
Was Chameleon a success?
Oh, you've been Googling, yes?
No, I may have browsed your Wikipedia page once.
It was a success by its own terms, yes.
Would you like to tell us what year?
Oh no, what year was it? I don't know. It was most probably 87 or something, yeah.
Right, another thing you said in class was parents do have a favourite child.
Oh dear, yeah.
So, who's your favourite child?
You're asking me questions I could never answer, never put on record.
We've all in our class, we've all know who it is.
I don't have a favourite child.
You talk about the American one so much more, no, he's not American, but you talk about the one who lived in America.
I'm getting
far
very
much more.
nervous. Well, I may do, but it doesn't mean he's the favourite.
But if he's not your favourite, then why would you talk about him much more than
Because I'm obviously trying to illustrate some points.
You're prouder of him than you are of your other children?
Definitely not. No way. I'm proud of all my children.
What is the meaning of life?
Well, no one knows the question.
No, what is the meaning of life for you?
I suppose it's something called self-actualization, which I believe is a Maslow theory, to be all that you can be. If you think you can be a great actor, you will be a great actor. If you think you can be a great writer, you can be a great writer. If you think you can be a great concert pianist, you can be a great concert pianist. But the trouble is, to become fully self-actualized, all you can be, there's usually a lot of hurdles in the way. It's not just given to you.
Do you think we live in a sexualized society?
I do think that, yes.
Why is that?
I think nearly everything is a reference to sex. Computer games, animations that are meant for children. I don't even think it's a bad thing, and I don't think we can see it anymore. But I do think it's quite a highly sexualized society.
What are the best dating techniques out there?
Well, it's a long time since I've been on the dating scene, so I don't really know.
But if you was, say, you were single and you was going out tonight, what techniques would you use?
I think empathy is a good one. Empathy. You listen to what someone says, and then sometimes you come up with maybe little tricks
to
help
those
those
tricks?
conversation along. I think you're trying to make me retell a story I told in the first year, which was a guy was trying to chat up a woman. He said he wasn't doing very well, so I said, what you need to do is just curl your lip at the side, yeah, as you're talking to her, and she won't know you're doing it, but it will give you more of a mysterious image to you.
So is that your dating technique? It's come across mysterious?
Some people like it, not everyone. It works for him, by the way. It did actually work for him.
Did it work for you?
I've never used it. Yeah.
Rank your tutors from worst to best. Explain why.
Oh no. My favourite tutors. And why? Come on.
Oh my goodness. No!
And explain why.
Oh no. Right, alright, okay. No, if I'd say my favourite tutor was, it's probably Ollie, because she's just like really down to earth and big sisterly.
You won't offend, it's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mike. I mean, I love you and everything, but I've got to go with like Ollie and Deb is better than you because, you know, women stick together and all that. And obviously Ollie's the best. Why? Oh, I knew that was gonna come because she has an awesome tattoo on her wrist.
I'm just gonna say it anyway. From top to bottom, you Ollie, and then Mike, then Deb. And the reason for that being is I think you're probably the best because I can relate to you as you're around my age and you're not as no as 19. She's not that old, is she?
Which is good, right? That's a good thing. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, okay.
What do you think I'm? Oh my! I hate you, Tim, so much.
My favourite part of the course was the 2D animation because when I made my little soda cup, teacup and soda can guy dancing around the table, that was the most fun to make from beginning to end. And it was probably my favourite because it was my first time using Flash, so it was, I don't know, it just felt good. It just felt good to do, it felt good to make, you know.
In TV and film,
I had one of my units was to create an animated introduction, and I enjoyed that so much, and I feel like I got a good grade through doing that. And I enjoyed using the software, and I found it a lot easier than the software I was using in TV and film. I found like I could pick it up a lot quicker, and it felt more like my calling.
I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules. Boys and girls across the world, put it on our dancing shoes. Going to the discotheque, getting high and getting wrecked. I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules. I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules. Boys and girls across the world, put it on our dancing shoes. Going to the discotheque, getting high and getting wrecked. I don't wanna go to school, I just wanna break the rules.
My favourite part of the course would have to be learning new skills. I really enjoy learning about 3D as I specialise more in 2D. 3D isn't something I ventured into much, and I've had the opportunity to be able to do that now.
My favourite part of the course, probably being able to work with all different kinds of people, like from all different backgrounds, like people that are around my age group and then people that are like just slightly older than me, or just any age really. It's like it really does influence you in different ways.
My whole time on the course as a whole was just fun. I don't think there's ever been like a dull day. Any day that I've come in, there's never like I've never gone home being like, oh, that was a really naff day at college. Like I've never had that. It was just fun from beginning to end.
What I'd like to tell my classmates, I'd love to thank them for accepting me into their different friends groups. I feel like, and this isn't something bad about TV and film, but I feel like it was a lot more competitive than motion graphics and animation.
I will miss them though, like, they have been like really nice to me when I've needed feedback and when I've like needed to talk to someone. So I'll be sad to see them all go and get work and go to university and whatnot.
Don't doubt yourself. Try and have as much confidence as you can, and this is a journey, and you're going to improve as you go along.
I'm not really nervous, I'm just more excited.
Yes, just let me say his line and then walk in.
You done now? Yeah? Can I continue? I'm more excited than nervous.
Yeah, all that. Anyway, so, hi. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Yeah, good. Well, got a couple questions for you, mate.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that, you know, there's other qualities to you than just an arrogant jerk?
I am
narcissistic,
good-looking, charming, pleasant gentleman to be around. And I don't think people see the good qualities of me. I think most people just turn to the bad and assume that I can't say, it's just a lie. I mean, I'm a good person with a heart of gold. But
I think whoever's watching is supposed to buy that. So then how do you now feel that you're on the verge to finish the course?
I'm actually really upset that I'm leaving. Like, these have probably been the best 2 years of education I've been in. Like, I feel like I've actually made the best friends here, and I'm hoping that I can stay with them for a while.
That's very sweet. Since Tim's name was in your mouth a lot, is he your favourite?
Oh, okay. Thing about Tim is, when I first joined, there was just hatred between us.
Yeah, I heard about that.
He hated me and I hated him. Yeah. And I feel like I had good reason to. I was quite a cocky little mouthy.
Was? Are you sure it was?
Oh, I still am a cocky, mouthy prick. Did I say prick on this?
No, you can't. But
Okay. I was quite a cocky, mouthy, arrogant jerk. That has got to be the thing I've heard the most said about me this year. Every time you hear Sam Thompson, arrogant jerk. I mean, even though I said I don't do a lot of work, I still do some to an extent.
Okay.
And I started to realise that, like, not all teachers and tutors are pricks. Like, some of them are actually alright to get along with. You just have to respect them first, maybe.
So what, is Tim still the P word?
No, Tim's alright now.
Oh, okay.
I started to realise that he actually has an okay taste in music. He's not actually 40.
I was blind, now I can see. You better believe her. I done met. I was blind, now I can see. You better believe her. I done met. I'm moving on up now, getting out of the darkness. My light shines on, my light shines on, my light shines on.
I don't know, I'd just like to say that the last 2 years have been good. It's scary though to think that we're just gonna like leave after 2 years. Like these 2 years have flown by so quickly, I think, personally. If anybody's thinking about coming to college, it's a really, really good choice. I've learnt loads. I've loved everybody on this course. There's not been one person like, I refuse to work with them, I hate them. I think everybody's been really lovely.
I really enjoy being with people. I think having the social aspect of this course has really helped me come out of my shell. Like before I came here, I wasn't the most confident of people, and it's been really nice to just come somewhere where everyone is so warm to you and just everyone kind of clicks in that respect.
Really just that this course has been great, and it's a great learning opportunity, and I've really enjoyed it, but also the lecturers are great and they really give you a chance to not only grow your education but yourself as well, because they give you room to explore routes which let you engage parts of yourself you didn't know you had.
Teamwork. That's the most important thing I've learned being here. Without a team, it proves quite hard to complete something.
I would, what I'd like to tell my classmates, I'd love to thank them for accepting me into their different friends groups.
For the first year, I was definitely the outcast. Everyone kind of thought I was, well, weird. That's an understatement. Terroristy, again, super terrorist. But no, ironically, towards the end of the course, I have actually made a few friends.
I am going to miss the college, not being able to have the same atmosphere again. Like with everyone in there, like I think it's going to be different, but I'm looking forward to uni.
Okay, Neil does swear, so I'll bleep. Okay, so for example, he'll start off the lesson by going, he'll give us the brief, like, so, okay, everybody, can you give us the brief? And he's like, yeah, okay, the brief. And then he's like, for example, Holly, if you don't like my idea, then come back with a better one. Mike is just like, oh my God, that's it, oh, don't talk to me, I've had this idea. Oh my God. Right, Holly, come here. Right, the idea is, oh my God, the other idea. Okay, you need to change the name of this. You need that because, oh my God, I'm just a genius. And I told my oh. And then when I was younger, I kissed that girl. Legit, that is his sessions, that's what it's like. Andy says, he's like, yesy, okie dokie. But you know, he is in a good way, but he is. So Graham Gladden is very much like, got his tattoos in here, look at this one, I've got a tattoo. But secretly, deep down inside, Mike told me his handwriting shows that he's a sweetheart. And Graham's like, oh yeah, I love Shakespeare and cups of tea in the evening and more. Andrea just comes in like 15 minutes later and says, I am sorry everybody, I've been stuck on train. And then like he gets his like coffee or whatever and he's always drinking it. I'm like, Andrea, I have a question, do you need headphone splitter? I'm like, I don't really, okay, thank you. And then he'll teach me how to do the work, which is good, and then he'll mumble. Oh, he has this music on in the background as well. I don't know what it is. You're trying to edit, and all you can hear is like dun 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 dun, and all this music. And you're like, I'm trying to edit, and he's running around like still like chatting to these guys like I don't know. And that's Andrea. Lovely person though.